ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the 21st session of the Rajavidya Rajaguhya series. Yesterday we discussed the 20th shloka. In this shloka, Krishna spoke that there are some followers of the three Vedas and they conduct so many sacrifices, and through these sacrifices they indirectly worship Krishna, and they are relieved from these sinful reactions, and they attain a lot of punya, and with the strength of this punya or pious credits they enter heavenly planets and they enjoy high grade material enjoyment in the heavens. That's the meaning of the 20th shloka. But after entering the heavenly planets, what will happen to them? That Krishna describes in this shloka, in the 21st shloka. Let's recite the shloka. Krishna says, ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते. Krishna says, Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam. After having performed so many pious activities and the prescribed rituals and different sacrifices and worshipping different devatas, these people enter the planets of these devatas. They enter the heavenly planets. And what happens to them there? Tetam bhuktva. There they happily enjoy heavenly pleasures. Swargalokam Vishalam. This Swargaloka, this heavenly planet is very vast. Tetam Bhuktva. There, these people Bhuktva, they enjoy heavenly pleasures, sense pleasures. But how long will they enjoy? As long as they have their punya, they will enjoy. Because they entered heavens by the strength of their punya. They performed so many pious activities. They conducted so many rituals and sacrifices, and as a result of that, they acquired some punya, pious credits, and with the strength of the pious credits, they entered the heavenly planets. And after the punya is exhausted, kshine punye martyalokam vishanti. Kshine means exhaustion. Kshine punya means when their pious credit is exhausted, martyalokam vishanti, they will again return to this mortal earth. Martyalokam here refers to this earth. So they come to earthly planet. So they go up and they come down. They go up with the power of punya. As the punya gets diminished, they'll come down back to earth. So this is heaven. With punya, they go to heaven, and this is earth, they'll come back to earth. So this is like going up and coming down. Just like you pay some money and you enjoy some circus, like you pay some money, and for this much amount of time the circus person, they will allow you to enter the show and you can see, but for the next show you have to pay more money. Right? So just with one ticket they won't be able to allow you forever to stay there. Similarly, with this much of punya, you can stay only for that much of time in heaven. But if the punya is exhausted, again you have to come back. Again to go there, again you acquire a lot of punya. So this is like going up and coming down, going up and coming down is going on. And evam trayi dharma manuprapanna. So trayi dharma means those who follow the rituals prescribed in the three Vedas. They follow the dharma prescribed in the three Vedas. What do they get? They only get sense pleasures in the upper planets for a temporary amount of time, and they only get repeated birth and death. Gata agatam, gata agatam, kama kama labhante. They definitely get sense pleasures, but only for a temporary amount of time. And again, they have to die. They have to descend. They have to fall down from heaven to earth. Again, in earth, they perform some rituals if they get human birth. And after doing some rituals, they get some punya. Again, they go up. Again, they come down. Go up, come down. Go up and come down. That's what is happening. So it's not worth. It's not worth going to upper planets to enjoy some temporary material pleasures only to come back once the piety is exhausted. They do some good deeds in earth, wonderful pious activities. They go to higher planets and they enjoy their happy life. They drink so much juice, as Krishna said in the previous shloka. But once the piety is exhausted, they'll come back to earth in a different species, in a different form. Again, if they want to go, they have to repeat the cycle. So it's good to perform some good deeds, but it's not worth sticking to only good activities or pious activities for high grade enjoyment. Do some spiritual activities, right? In short, this worshipping different devatas who are the universal administrators and performing Vedic rituals and following some kind of prescribed sacrifices in some karmakandic sections of the Vedas, they don't relieve us from the cycle of birth and death. Our biggest problem is not lack of some sense pleasures. The biggest problem for all of us is we are caught up in the cycle of birth and death. As Kulashekaral verses, He loka sruduta prasuti marana vyadheschikitsam imam yogagna samudaharanti munayo yam yajnavalkyadaya अन्तर्ज्योतिरमेयमेकममृतं कृष्णाख्यमापीयताम् तत्पीतं परमौषधं वितनुते निर्वाणमात्यन्तिकम्. Sorry, from Gita, I'm going to Mukundamala Stotra. It's nice to recollect some extra Shastric references sometimes. So the shloka says, He loka sruduta prasuti marana. Oh, people in this world, hear attentively. You have a disease, you have a vyadhi. What is that vyadhi? Prasuti maranam vyadhi. Your vyadhi, your disease is you are caught up in this cycle of birth and death. But don't worry, chikitsa is there. He loka sruduta prasuti marana vyadhis chikitsam imam. There is a chikitsa. What is a chikitsa? What is the treatment for this disease? Yogagna samudaharanti munayo. Yam Yajna Valkyadaya. This chikitsa, this treatment is also recommended by so many knowers of the yoga, so many great personalities like Yajnavalkya. So, what exactly is the treatment? Antarjyotirameyamekam Krishna khyama piyatam. Means you please drink this medicine of Krishna's name. The medicine for your disease is the name of Krishna. What is the disease? Being caught up in this cycle of birth and death. To stop this cycle of birth and death, you just simply cannot perform some Vedic rituals or some karma kandik yajnas and enter heaven. And even after heaven, going to heaven, you will have to die. Even after you become a devata or king of all the devatas, Indra in the heavenly planets, one day we have to leave this body. They are also subjected to karma. So instead of going up and coming down and we are getting caught up in the cycle of birth and death and only experiencing some higher grade material pleasures, better stop this whole business of going up and coming down. So birth is there, growth is there, old age is there, then death is there. So this cycle goes on. Can you stop this cycle? Can we simply stop this cycle and go to the spiritual world where there is no birth, there is no old age, there is no death, there is no disease? So the material world, there is some happiness sometimes, and there is some distress also. So there is dualities. But in the spiritual world, there is no distress, only happiness everywhere in the spiritual world. So let's go to that place. Mm. In this material world, there is no lasting peace here. Sometimes you are peaceful, sometimes you are distressful, sometimes you are successful, sometimes you are a failure. Sometimes you are victorious, sometimes you are defeated. Sometimes You get pleasure, sometimes you get pain. Sometimes there is happiness, sometimes there is distress. This happiness is not permanent here, and whatever little happiness is there in this world, that is material in nature. That's not spiritual. That's not divine. That's not mm, eternal. It's a very temporary phase. So instead of getting caught up in this temporary pains and pleasures, can we get out of this whole cycle of birth and death and enter Krishna's spiritual world? This material world is dark. Krishna has to illuminate this material world by sending sun, by sending moon, by everything else. But the spiritual world is eternal and is full of joy. There is no death, there is no birth, there is no darkness, there is no distress. That's our eternal home, forever home. So let's go there by performing bhakti. So higher planets can give us greater comforts for a short time, but we have to come back to earth once the punya is exhausted. But when we go, that's what happens by worshipping different devatas and following different rituals. But when you go to the spiritual world, then there's complete enjoyment and happiness and peace. So that's a quick summary and some explanation on this shloka. Tomorrow we'll enter the 22nd shloka, very beautiful shloka, where Krishna talks about pure bhakti. There's a contrast. Whatever he spoke in the last two shlokas is uh, doing some kind of rituals and entering upper planets for higher grade enjoyment, and again coming back when the punya is exhausted. But in contrast to this process, there is something called pure bhakti where Krishna personally takes care of his devotee. That's a very beautiful shloka. We'll discuss that in the next session. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.